Alright, welcome and karibu sana. Sasa tumeweza kufikia kwa kitengo cha Today's Bait. We are live on Facebook and also YouTube, alafu pia pale kwenye Twitter. You can send this link to someone who may need it. You can definitely share it as well on your social media pages. So today we are going to be talking about the topic of it's okay to ask for help. That is our Today's Bait. That is exactly the topic ambayo nataka tuiangalie leo na tuweze kujua neno la Mungu linasema nini kuhusiana na hili. And my story, or rather the reference story and the verses that I'm going to be using will be coming from 1 Kings 17:4-9. 1 Kings chapter 17 from verse 4 all the way to 9, and it says the brook will supply you with water to drink, and I have commanded ravens to bring you food there. Elijah obeyed the Lord's command and went and stayed by the brook of Cherith. He drank water from the brook, and ravens brought him bread and meat every morning and every evening. After a while, the brook dried up because of the lack of rain. Then the Lord said to Elijah, "Now go to the town of Zarephath near Sidon and stay there. I have commanded a widow who lives there to feed you." So we get this story when God had asked Elijah to go to the desert. And when we get the story of Elijah, we're getting him in a scenario where there's drought and ravens are being sent to bring him food. We know about that famous story. But let me get personal just a little bit. You know, a while back, I was really in a difficult season. I was facing a very difficult season because I didn't have a job before I came here. And it was a season of me wondering, okay, rent itatoka wapi? I still don't have a plan B. I knew by December that I didn't have a job come January the next year, and I didn't even know where I was going to find a job. I tried applying, nothing was going through, and I was still waiting on one interview ambayo nilikuwa nimeshaifanya hapa ndani ya Hope ikuwe yani nipigiwe simu nini, lakini it took longer than I hoped it would. But then at this season, during this season is when I needed a lot of help, especially with my rent, and I had to call upon my parents to come through for me and help me with rent, with the needs, with everything that I needed. The question was, am I going to be willing to accept help from them? You know, going from the fact that even we come from a humble background. I am from a humble background, and it was really difficult. Even from the money my parents were getting, it wasn't much to sustain them and also me at the same time. So it was and then my sisters as well. So it was a really difficult season for me. But then my parents came through, they helped me, and I picked on that help. I did not see it as just them helping me, but I saw it as God instructing them and commanding them to come through for me as I waited for my job opportunity to come through. And I don't know if you're listening to me and you're feeling as though, okay, maybe I don't have those parents that can help me, or maybe I have some friends, but I'm scared of asking for help from them. And it is important for us to look at the story of Elijah here, because this widow was not even aware. Because when Elijah meets the widow are like, "Hey manze, this meal that I have is for me and my son, and after we eat, we die. Because there's nothing else. There's no other food. This is the last meal in the house." But Elijah anamwambia, waiting is like a portion. Kadogo tu, just a little portion. Give it to me and then God will provide the rest. And actually that is exactly what happens. This widow, after helping Elijah and, you know, giving Elijah a bit of the meal that she had, the flour and the oil was not running down. It didn't run up. Haikuwa inaisha yani, ilikuwa yani anatoa tu anaendelea, because God has a way of providing supernaturally. So I don't know what kind of help you could be needing. Maybe you're going through a season in your life whereby you're depressed, or maybe you're having suicidal thoughts, and maybe you're thinking, I don't feel like I need to ask for help, but it calls for a lot of humility. I think part of it has to do with also our pride, because sometimes we're like, okay, atanionaje? Na kuna mmoja aliweza kucomment hivyo, atanionaje? I mean, I don't want to seem as though I need help, but it is important for us to seek help, because there are people that God has instructed to come through for you. They are parents, they are teachers, they are doctors, they are pastors, they are counselors that people has already put in position to come through and help you. But now the question is, are you willing to be humble? Are you humble enough to go through to them and say, I need help? nahitaji usaidizi, mimi nimefika mwisho, please help me, please assist me. You never know who God has prepared in advance to come through and help you. I just want to tell you this morning that God has commanded help to come from various people in your life. God has commanded help, and that kind of help is the kind of help that I experienced even with my parents, because my mom would tell me, nakwambia tunakupatia almost everything we have, but we are not lacking. The grace of God is still sufficient in our lives, meaning that the people that you seek help from, God has a way of filling their cups, and they never run dry because of the reason that they are helping you. So don't be afraid to seek help. Don't be afraid of asking for help, because God has already instructed people to come through and help you in whatever thing that you need. And also, let me just mention that before you even go to people, before hata uweze kuangalia watu, nani atanisaidia, go to God first. Don't let God be your last resort. Let God be your very first resort. Let him be the person you're going to first, because when you go to him first, then he will open your eyes to knowing, ni nani ambaye anaweza kunisaidia kwenye area fulani. So I just want to pray for each and every one of you, and I pray that God is going to come through for you in whatever thing you need help from, because God is close to the brokenhearted. God is always ready to help. His Holy Spirit is our helper, is our comforter, and he has also instructed people in your life who can come through and help you. And let me just share the counselor's number. If you need counseling, if you need help in any area, if you need assistance, if you're struggling with depression, suicidal thoughts, all those mental health issues, just call on this number, and this counselor is going to talk to you for free. Hapa Sitam Valley Road. So the number you can call is 0709-861-150, 0709-861-150, and on WhatsApp, you can send in a message on WhatsApp on 0709-861-240. So those are the two numbers that you can call, 0709-861-150 or 0709-861-240. And I pray that you get the help that you need.